Welcome to this episode of Purpose Power. In our time today, we're going to consider the question, what are values? So let's start with some definitions. We often would think of values as one of those self-defining words, right? Those are the things that I value. My values are the things that I value, but that doesn't really give us a sense of the rich context that values actually represent. So when I think of values, I think of these as principles or strongly held convictions. I'm hesitant to say beliefs because I really do think that the values that we hold can each be individually defined. So when I think of one example of a value as honesty, I think that that value has its own definition of being true, having integrity, and being honest or non-lying in all ventures. So when we think about our values as a whole in a universal sense, we're talking about the principles that we will live by, behave by, or in other words, interact with the world with. Now, it's really important to understand what values are in order to take the next step of understanding what our personally held values are. And why would we go through that exercise? Well, that is building brick by brick by brick our personal mission statement. Our values end up being the scaffolding on which we can kind of hang up all of the ways that we want to develop and use our personal mission statements. So where do we begin with that? Well, as a means of overview, there are 4 types of values that we come across when we identify one as potentially part of our own values toolkit. Expected values, admired values, values in development, and values in use. And each of those is going to actually get its own episode of Purpose Power. So just know we're going to dive more deeply into each of those in the coming episodes. But for the moment, expected values, those are values that we really like, but we actually expect others to display more than we expect them of ourselves. Admired values are those values that we recognize in other people and we really admire them. Values in development, those are our own values that we would like to use and display a little bit more. And our values in use, those are our core values that we're already really good at expressing, using. They're kind of our fallback values. Now, as we go through this exercise of thinking through what are my values, we really want to whittle it down to maybe just a handful. My own personal mission statement, I identify 6 values, but it takes me 2 sentences to do that. You could have a value statement that includes maybe just 3. And as we go through the process of thinking about our values, we're thinking about how do I want to express them? How do they exist in relationship to other people? And how do I want to be seen out in the world using these values? Do you want to be a role model? Do you want to be recognized as somebody who's tremendously honest or diligent or creative? When we go through this process, we are creating the foundational elements of what becomes our personal mission statement. So defining our values is really a part of defining ourselves, and it's no small task. Okay, so let's put all of this good thinking about values into practice with a little bit of a challenge. Now, just a reminder, in each of these Purpose Power videos, I'm taking 5 minutes to talk about a topic, and I'm giving you a 5-minute challenge that you can complete right now at the end of the video. So here's my challenge for you today. And in fact, this is just a 60-second challenge. So take out a pencil, take 60 seconds on your clock, and jot down all of the values that come to mind that you feel you personally hold. That's all that you have to do today. Keep that little sticky or sheet of paper with you for the course of a week until our next episode of Purpose Power, when we'll have another exercise that we can do. Now, if you're coming up a little bit empty-handed for what other values are out there, feel free to do a Google search on commonly held values or list of values, and you'll find hundreds out there. I look forward to connecting with you and hearing back on your feedback in the comments below. This has been Purpose Power with Dr. Emily Socash. I hope that you will subscribe and follow, and we'll see you next time.
Here at the Mission Labs, our mission is helping you find yours. Head over to themissionlabs.com and sign up for our Mission Labs Members Lounge to get the inspiration you need now for crafting a personal mission statement and beginning your life of stated purpose.